Taurus, what is up? It's July 11th, 2022. Thanks for joining the channel today. We're going to jump right into the reading. Like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want a reading, my email is going to be in the box below. Shoot me a note. We'll kind of go from there. But let's just dive right into it, all right? The first card that flew out as I was shuffling was we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Five of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the Sun, a couple more, Justice, King of Pentacles, High Priestess. It's a pretty crazy reading, Taurus. We've got the Two of Rods, Two of Wands, the Ten of Wands, Ten of Rods, one more. All right. Wow. You can't make this shit up. Two of Cups. Way to end it there. And under the deck. Wow. And we've got the Four of Rods. Holy shit, Taurus. So, let's discuss. There's something that you have been heavily focused on. Finances, career, could also be just day-to-day work, daily grind. Recently, you've had an emotional loss. There's been an ending of some sort, and it's left you feeling kind of down. If you have been just distracting yourself with work, that would totally make sense as well. But essentially, I think you're really at a place right now, Taurus, that you're trying to evaluate if there was a breakup, an ending, an emotional loss, where you're just kind of like feeling down about it. Maybe you had to give up something emotionally that, like, maybe you didn't want to, but it was just somehow ended. Someone broke up with you. I think that you're evaluating if that was maybe if you broke up with them or you left the situation, just the loss that you're feeling. Maybe you feel empty inside and you're trying to assess was that maybe the right decision? Maybe you didn't handle it the best type of thing. And how do you move forward from here? To make yourself feel emotionally fulfilled. The Eight of Swords indicate to me that I think you felt as if you were restricted. Maybe somebody blocked you off. You were not able to convey the words or thoughts that you wanted to regarding this matter. Or you just felt restricted, like your hands were tied, like there's nothing I could have done in this situation type of thing, because you were essentially bound by maybe a choice that you had made in the past. But regardless, the weird thing about this, Taurus, is like it definitely led to some betrayal. So if there was some type of emotional situation where maybe you had to make a decision and it was tied to an emotional relationship, or could have even been a friend too, that you made like there was an emotional offer, and you know you were trying to assess if it was the right move for you. Could have been relative to your finances, could have been a home situation as well. Maybe you're going to move in with somebody, and there was something though that held you back from communicating what maybe the truth was surrounding your situation, or what you were tied up with. Maybe you couldn't, like, you told a friend, I'm going to move in with you, and then just bailed on them, like you couldn't get out of your lease or something, and then it ended up like being a major betrayal. Or that's potentially how you feel right now. Like maybe you're not proud of your actions tied to this situation, and you're looking back on the past trying to assess the damage you've done, and maybe you're a little bit brutal, Taurus, with your actions. Like maybe you just it's like you didn't have to stab the person one time, but you did it 10 times, or they did this to you. There was some betrayal, could be by another party as well towards you. At the end of the day, you're starting anew. There's a new cycle coming up for you, Taurus, and I think that while this was incredibly hard and difficult for you to go through, this was karmic. And I think that how you feel right now, if you wrong somebody, then you're definitely getting your spiritual justice right now. That's just how the world works, unfortunately. If you screw someone over, usually the universe is going to come back and screw you over, type of thing. Or it's going to help you see that this was maybe meant to end, so you could start a new cycle in your life and a new beginning. That maybe this led to you changing something about yourself, that you realize that maybe there's a different way of responding to these types of situations. Like in the future, you want to be a different person or something. Maybe there's a renewal. You could also too maybe come back, reach out to this person trying to express an apology for how you handled it. Just not even because you want to get back together with them or rekindle the friendship. Maybe just because you know it's the right thing to do, to explain yourself. Or it could be them doing the same for you. It could go both ways. I think too that there was maybe some question tied to your finances. Like maybe you're so focused on your finances that you neglected an offer, an opportunity emotionally that would have made you feel somewhat fulfilled, and somebody didn't see you backing out coming. It hurt them, betrayed them, they got very angry. It's all resetting now. It was karmic. And I think you're starting to realize that you're wanting to choose a different way of living. Maybe you want to be a little bit more stable with your finances, or fair in your decision-making process, or how you function or operate or see situations. And you want to be more stable, more reliable with your finances. Maybe there's a new career opportunity too that is going to put you in a better place financially. But I think that intuitively, there's a knowing, there's an energy about this that cuts very deep with you, Taurus, for some reason. And could also be too, the situation's not really fair. Maybe this other person's quite stable in their finances. They're very intuitive, very beautiful, very connected to source energy. And you're reflecting back on the past, really assessing, was this the right thing to let this situation go? Maybe there are reasons you made the choices you did to ultimately hurt and betray this person that were not truly justified. But you're coming to a place of acceptance, and you're maybe choosing a different path and thinking about the whole situation over and over and over again, understanding that if you wanted, like in the future, if this were to ever rekindle, or you were going to do, like, play it all over again with maybe a different person, it requires a lot more effort on your part. There's a lot more work involved than what you probably gave, kind of like breadcrumbing it, type of thing. Or maybe you're willing to put in the work too. Could also be that you realize that there's a knowing that you're meant to come back to this situation, because it's maybe you're supposed to, if it's an ex, maybe you want to be with them again and right a wrong that was hurt somebody else very bad, and you're trying to come up with a strategy, a game plan, looking towards, you know, the past, assessing where you went wrong, and now you're willing to do the work because you see the value in it. And I think that you want to come forth with an emotional offer. Could be an engagement, could be marriage, could be just an emotional offering for friendship to connect. And if you do that, either way, I think it's maybe you just even want to right the wrong and just be more. Yeah, there's definitely a connection here, though. I don't know if there's, could be two people involved. Maybe the person you're with now, and there's a person maybe you want to be with, and you feel like if you put in the effort to this, you're going to feel more fulfilled and whole, and that's what you want to put in the effort towards finally. You're just weighing out your decisions, but you're pulled to it, and you're focused heavily on your finances, like trying to get stabilized, and you just want to be more fair, more goal-oriented, ambitious, driven, putting in the effort to make this work. But you got to be like vulnerable, you got to be willing to put yourself out there, type of thing. You know, if you do all those things, it maybe this definitely could lead to happiness and some type of union and victory. I'm going to pick two more, and I'm going to pick one from the Witch's Oracle deck. It's not going to resonate with everyone. This seems like a very specific message, but ultimately, tough situation to be in. At least you're coming to a place that you're seeing it clearly. Maybe you were blinded a little bit in the past too by your past trauma. Yeah, so this is that's interesting, because I just said by past trauma. So maybe being involved in this situation in the past hurt you financially, or you like gave a lot and invested a lot and you were broken after. It like really harmed you in a way that you just didn't have much left. Maybe your resources were scarce and you just didn't want to get involved because you were terrified that that was going to harm you again in the same way. Yeah, and you're moving away from something. You're moving away from, maybe it's an old way of thinking. Like you're saying, okay, I can't, if I want emotional fulfillment, I can't just be like thinking about this all the time. I still have to put in the work and give, and not just be so tied up in my head that maybe there's a fear of abandonment, or maybe you have codependency issues as well. You're like left in the cold, without much left, or just scarcity, and that was terrifying for you enough to just push you away from the matter, even though you know it would have been fulfilling for you. And these two popped out, the Lovers. So there's definitely a choice here. There definitely is either two people or two different directions you're looking to head. You're definitely going within though, Taurus. And I don't know if it's necessarily two people, but I feel like that maybe, again, you feel like you're meant to be with somebody, or maybe you're just reassessing if this can actually be healed and resurrected. Because I feel like you see the fulfillment, you know you have to make a choice, and time is ticking. Like there's just not that much time left for you to assess the matter. Like you're having to actually move away from, maybe there's a change of residence or change of your situation, and you're either in your head thinking, or you're communicating that maybe you're just no longer willing to invest in this other situation, and you kind of want to move back towards this. But I think you're definitely just in your head right now, assessing what is the right path for me, what direction do I need to take. Crazy reading, Taurus. Shit's really intense today. So we're going to do the Witch's Oracle deck by Sally Morningstar. I'm just going to pick one card for you as the future, immediate future, I guess. The broomstick cleansing. Number 17. And this I think wanted to come out too, this other one. The silver bow. Love. Yeah, so Taurus, there's some deep past wounds that need to be healed within yourself, within this situation. I think maybe you're really guilty too about in your head of like what happened, knowing that it was not fair and it was definitely really hurtful to somebody else, like total backstabbing, betrayal. Didn't even see it coming. And I think that you are just really assessing, like trying to ask yourself tough questions, like why would I turn down some, like we're meant to be together. I could be a relationship, could be a friendship too, but something so beautiful, and I had an opportunity for a fresh start and I like blew it. Could have had this, or maybe this is ultimately what you have always wanted and it was at your fingertips, but you decide to move away from it for whatever reason, or you're in the process of assessing maybe that is what you want and you're not getting emotionally and spiritually and mentally fulfilled with this connection, and you've put in a lot of effort and you're just trying to assess, like, you know, it's probably best, maybe I'm starting to move away from it and that might just be best for me. But I feel like that there's definitely, like, there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. You know, the duality, it's the you coming to maybe terms in the self with the dark and light aspects to this matter. Like, instead of being in denial, like, you're actually realizing that in order for it to transmute itself, you have to essentially, like, accept it for what it is and recognize that the sooner you take on, you maybe feel guilty and you're like, oh, I don't want to look at it, but the sooner you look at it and try to find the truth about the matter and you come to a balanced state of mind, that's when actual healing occurs and you can see it for what it is, not just what you want it to be. So in the future you don't make those same mistakes. And after you do that, I think there's some deep cleansing though from even two past wounds that you've never healed. That maybe again you just did not want to look at, or you weren't ready to. But as soon as you do that, Taurus, it's going to lead to love. It's going to lead to fertility, harmony, grace, beauty, and there's not going to be any more pain. And honestly, Taurus, I don't know if you're going to get this back, because it's quite possible this other person is ready to move on or has moved on. But if that's the case, I would still recommend you going through the motions of you need to heal regardless. There might not be anything you can do to heal this matter, but you need to heal. You need to forgive yourself. You need to find peace in your heart for what has happened and move forward. You did the best that you could at the time that you could. Maybe it just wasn't the right time, right place, right person. And as soon as you do that, you need to just you accept everything for what it is, and with no illusions or denial, you'll find self-love. So in the future, you can find more prosperity and fulfillment, and maybe just not make the same mistakes, or that other person potentially in the connection is going to find this truth and not make the same mistakes moving forward with the next person. All right. Could also come back to you, Taurus, but I think first both parties need to heal, you know, give it some time. And if that's not the case, just find at least self-love for yourself and learn to forgive and accept yourself, okay? So everything works out for a reason, all right? Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.